Good evening. A day after the U.S. killed a top Iranian commander in an airstrike, tension in the Middle East continues to escalate. Several rockets were launched in Baghdad, some of which landed in or near the area where the U.S. embassy is located. This as thousands attended the funeral of General Qasem Soleimani. CBC's Jacqueline Henson has more.
Clutching posters of General Qasem Soleimani and clenching their fists, hundreds of Iranians chant, "Death to America." We want Iranian officials to take a hard revenge, this woman says. That is widely expected to be Iran's plan.
Definitely there will be a revenge. There will be a harsh revenge. Iran will act based on its own choosing. And the time, the place, will be decided by Iran.
New video shows the wreckage of the deadly U.S. airstrike in Iraq that killed Iran's top military leader and a powerful Iraqi militia commander, among others. A funeral procession with similar fury was held in Baghdad today. Mourners carried Soleimani's body, and the Iraqi prime minister joined them. This man says, "We will avenge the killing of our leaders and their blood." While the U.S. has begun deploying thousands of troops to the region as a precautionary measure, security here in the United States is also a priority. In a statement from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, it says there are currently no specific credible threats against our homeland, but it adds the entire department remains vigilant and stands ready, as always, to defend. For safety, the Canadian-led NATO training mission in Iraq has been suspended, and the future of the United States military presence in Iraq to help stabilize that region is also in question.
That if Iraq, upset by the United States' actions, withdraws its consent, the American forces would have to leave the region, which would also put the stability or the future of that NATO training mission in jeopardy.
U.S. out of the Middle East, no justice, no peace.
Some Americans who want the U.S. to leave the Middle East gathered today to demand the U.S. not get involved in a new war. And while President Trump has said his intention was to stop a war, not start one, some Iranians think otherwise. Jacqueline Henson, CBC News, Washington.
In Toronto, about 100 people gathered outside the U.S. Embassy to condemn the Trump administration's actions. The anti-war protesters say the killing of Qasem Soleimani is threatening the lives of not only those in Iran and Iraq, but the entire region. However, not everyone who showed up to oppose the military action opposed it. Angelina King was at the protest.
A short but heated confrontation between opposing voices. Police had to intervene when a small group supporting the U.S. airstrikes that killed Iran's top general showed up at an anti-war protest outside the U.S. Embassy in Toronto. That group taking a stance against the Trump administration's actions, their call being echoed at other rallies across the country, including one in Ottawa. The group's also calling on the Canadian government to do more.
Right now, Canada has troops in Iraq. One thing we're asking Prime Minister Trudeau to do is bring back those troops, to demilitarize the region, and actually allow folks to decide their own future and to live in security and peace.
Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister has called for de-escalation and restraint from both sides. While there's a gathering tonight in Toronto to mourn Qasem Soleimani, some are supporting the airstrikes that killed him.
I wanted to support freedoms. I want to stand against terrorism. I want to support, show my support for Donald Trump.
While there are strong differing opinions, one thing a lot of people agree on is they are concerned, worried about what's going to happen next for the people living in Iran.
I'm worried about all of them. All of them are part of me.
In Toronto's Little Tehran, Iranians are keeping a close watch on the news back home. At more than 100,000, the GTA is home to the second largest Iranian immigration population in the world. Los Angeles has the largest. Most here still have family and friends back home.
When I talked to my friend, in Iran today, they were so worried about that. They told me maybe we have a war between Iran and U.S. And you know what? A lot of people gonna killed.
There's also a concern that existing poor living conditions for many in Iran will only get worse.
I think with everything given in the Middle East, it can create some commotion and instability that will not suit or serve the Iranian people.
Ultimately, Iranians here just wishing for peace back home. Angelina King, CBC News, Toronto.
Soleimani's death has created new concerns for people traveling in the Middle East. Global Affairs Canada is advising Canadians to avoid all travel to Iraq. It says that's due to a continued volatile, unpredictable and potentially dangerous security situation. Canadians already in Iraq are strongly advised to consider leaving.
The scale of the fires is stretching resources on the ground, and there are clearly communities that need additional help.
Bushfires continue to burn out of control in southeastern Australia, and officials say the situation is only going to get worse. We have the latest on that story a little later in the newscast. Multiple animals are dead after an overnight fire in Brampton.
Nobody was home in the structure when the fire occurred. Animal control has been notified and they'll be on scene to help remove the animals.
Emergency crews were called to a home on Mill Street South near Main and Frederick to battle a two-alarm blaze. Smoke and flames were seen coming from the back of the home. Firefighters eventually found cats and dogs that died on scene. No other injuries were reported. Firefighters are continuing to investigate the cause of the fire. Toronto police are looking for a wanted man they describe as violent and dangerous. 30-year-old Hassani Toussaint Green is wanted on a warrant for serious assault charges. Green is described as 5'9" with a medium build, short black hair, a mustache and a goatee. Police say if you see this person, do not approach and call 911. While a $70 million lottery prize is still up for grabs. There was no winning ticket sold for last night's record-setting Lotto Max prize. The draw also offered 26 Max Million prizes of $1 million each. 8 of those were won. But the $70 million can still be claimed in the next Lotto Max draw on Tuesday. Well, this is what Morningside in Scarborough looked like this morning. A fresh layer of light snow covering treetops after a few flurries in the early hours of today. Just enough to stick to the trees and give us this beautiful view. We have been lucky with relative warmth the last few days, but could we see the return of winter temperatures soon? And that's why Marta's here to give us a sense of whether or not we can continue to enjoy these warmer than usual temperatures, Marta.
Well, I mean, we can continue to enjoy them because we will for the next few days. There will be some snow, but it's not going to be anything too significant. Let's stick to overnight, though. -3 in Toronto, so right around the seasonal mark, which is -4. And just a quick look across Ontario. In London, -2 with that snowfall icon. Now, there is going to be some strong winds, not really for the GTA, more through the Huron shores, in through Kincardine. They could see up to 50 to 60 kilometer wind gusts. Environment Canada already issuing some special weather statement for some of that lake effect snow and that gusty winds. Now, will that snow reach us? It might, just a little bit of flurries, but everyone's going to be sleeping, so they won't see that in the GTA in through Toronto. It's this system, which is a quick little clipper system coming in through Sunday afternoon. You can see it's already reaching the GTA, and then Sunday evening. Now, clippers are typically really fast, and they sort of bring snow not too much in through the GTA. By the afternoon, it's 1 degree with that snowfall icon, and a quick look at the forecast for Sunday. You can see that little snowfall icon throughout. It's not going to be too much, though. 1 degree in Toronto, 1 in Oakville.
Thanks, Marta. We'll see you in a little bit.
We're in for a long night, and we've still yet to hit the worst of it.
Volatile and unpredictable wildfires continue to wreak havoc across Australia. 23 people have been killed and thousands forced to evacuate. An update on that is next. Plus, the Time's Up Foundation has released a safety guide for entertainers. The foundation aims to fight sexual harassment in all industries. Details after the break. Australia's Prime Minister has called in the army to help fight wildfires there. Late this afternoon, the Canadian government also offered more assistance. A total of 23 people are confirmed dead since the fire season began last September. More than 200 fires continue to burn. Extremely hot temperatures and shifting winds aren't helping. Lorenda Redekop has the latest.
2 more people were confirmed dead. A father and son in their vehicle, apparently attempting to flee the fast-approaching flames. Across the country, 6 people are missing.
We are facing another extremely difficult next 24 hours. This is taking a very heavy toll.
The Prime Minister, criticized for not doing enough, called in thousands of Army reservists to help fight the fires. That's never happened there before. This shows just how much of the country is burning, though most of the fires are in one state, New South Wales, where temperatures soared to record levels. A suburb of Sydney hit almost 49 degrees Celsius, the hottest day ever recorded there. The fires are generating so much heat, now they're creating their own weather systems, bringing on lightning strikes and tornadoes, according to officials, then sparking new fires.
We're in for a long night, and we've still yet to hit the worst of it.
The New South Wales Premier warned the fires, fanned by shifting high winds, were just too dangerous.
We are now in a position where we're saying to people it is not safe to move, it is not safe to leave these areas.
In other areas, the message was get out, leave while it's safe. This family tried, but evacuation planes were cancelled. Too much smoke to land. This woman escaped her home on New Year's Eve, leaving on horseback.
Just knew that it was extremely smoky. I could feel heat. It was terrifying.
She says their house is still standing, though it was ransacked, many items stolen.
I feel very lucky in a lot of respects, considering some people have lost everything and some people have even lost their lives. I just can't wait till it's over.
But it's likely far from over. Normally, this time of year is just the early stages of the bushfire season, which lasts until March. Lorenda Redekop, CBC News, Toronto.
Canadian basketball star Kia Nurse is stepping up to help those affected by the wildfires. The point guard plays for the Canberra Capitals in Australia during the WNBA offseason. But due to the poor air quality from the fires, her team has been forced to cancel games. Now she's organizing a fundraiser to help firefighters and victims of the fires. We reached her in Canberra.
I am right now. The closest fire that's burning to us is about a 50-minute drive away. But Canberra is the location, unfortunately, of the worst air quality right now. We're not supposed to be outside running. Don't work out. We have tons of people walking around in masks. I decided to donate $5 for every point my team scores within the next 5 games, so over the next 3 weeks. So trying to create awareness. I knew that I had an audience on my social media, both in Canada and America, because of where I played for my career. So using that to understand that these fires have been burning since September, with the biggest one starting in late October. And now people are picking up on how devastating that this actually is because there's mega blazes.
Cleanup is underway in Indonesia after one of the deadliest flash floods in years. Torrential rainfall caused extreme flooding and landslides around Jakarta. Officials say at least 53 people are dead. More than 175,000 have been displaced due to high waters. Roadways in some areas are blocked off, making recovery efforts difficult. Power has also been cut off across parts of the city. The Time's Up Foundation has released a sexual harassment safety guide. It is in large part a response to revelations from the entertainment industry. But the foundation says it's aiming at sexual harassment in all industries. CBC's Yelena Adzik has that story.
Let's face it, an actor's job is unlike any other. Auditioning for a role or playing a character can place actors in vulnerable, uncomfortable, and sometimes even dangerous circumstances on set. From nude scenes to the simulation of intimacy, this 35-page safety guide entitled Working in Entertainment aims to address this reality. Accessible online for free, the document includes contributions from influential performers, such as Lupita Nyong'o. In referencing the Me Too movement, Nyong'o stated, "By speaking up and speaking out and speaking together, we regain our power, and we hopefully ensure that this kind of rampant predatory behavior as an accepted feature of our industry dies here and now. More than 24 collaborators were thanked for their input to the guide, including actors Alyssa Milano, America Ferrera, Natalie Portman, and Brie Larson. The guide does include specific examples, such as what to do when there's a request for a meeting in a hotel room, and that directly recalls the allegations several years ago against Harvey Weinstein, and that broke open the Me Too movement. Considering Weinstein's trial is set to kick off on Monday, it's clearly a topic that continues to evolve. So much so, in fact, that it's even created new jobs, like the role of intimacy coordinator. It's similar to a stunt coordinator, but this person is on set specifically to help choreograph scenes involving sexual content and to give actors support. Actor Liz Whitmere shares her insight.
Certainly, when I've been on set and felt compromised, it's usually because of a last-minute change. So if I've agreed to the script as it's laid out, and I've signed a contract that says I will play this role on this show, and then I arrive at set and there's been a last-minute rewrite, and all of a sudden I'm not wearing pants, that's a decision that's gone through a creative tree. It's come down from producers and writers, and the director signed off on it, and everybody's aware of it except me.
That's exactly what the safety guide is hoping to remedy. Yelena Adzik, CBC News, Toronto.
Place for where we can play and where we can, guide the next generation to play so that little girls can dream too.
And a league they can call their own. Coming up after the break, we'll take you to the Harbourfront Centre, where a skate rally took place aimed at putting female hockey talent in the spotlight. Last year, Team Canada's gold medal dreams were crushed by Finland at the World Junior Hockey Championship. But this year, they were out for payback and got it.
Addison feeds across. Lafreniere fires, scores! Alexei Lafreniere, power play goal. Canada leads 5-0.
This was over before it even started. In a dominant wire-to-wire performance, Team Canada scored 3 times in less than 4 minutes against Finland in their semi-final game, cruising to a 5-0 victory and a chance to win gold. Canada will take on Russia, who beat them 6-0 in the preliminary round in the gold medal game Sunday. Well, Torontonians laced up their skates today at the Harbourfront Centre to show their support for women's hockey. This comes after the CWHL folded earlier this year, leaving top female athletes without a pro league to play in. Talia Ricci spoke with hockey players of all ages to find out what their hopes are for the future of the women's game.
These women say they're skating for a purpose.
I think it's important just to, bring up the visibility and the awareness. I know a lot of people don't even know, what we're trying to do. And, it's great if you can just educate one person and maybe they'll come to our game, maybe they'll support us, and that's all we can ask for.
And what they're trying to do is remind people that women need a professional hockey league of their own.
Because there could be equal chances.
That's what the Equal Sweat, Equal Opportunity skate rally aimed to highlight.
For me personally, I have 2 young daughters, and I think it's really important not to ever limit their dreams. And I think it's important for young Canadians across the country, young girls who have been learning to skate, to play hockey, that they see female role models skating at a professional level.
The Calgary Inferno are your Clarkson Cup champions.
Back in May, the Canadian Women's Hockey League abruptly folded, taking away training, resources, and facilities. News that hit these players hard.
It was devastating. We honestly didn't see it coming, and it was really a shock because we thought there had been so much progress made and we had grown such a great fan base, and then all of a sudden everything was gone.
We thought we had a bright future, but I guess with the news, all we can do is, look forward and try to create an equal opportunity.
A sustainable league where there's an equal opportunity for everyone, living wages for players, and a place where women can play and guide the next generation.
Yogurt and spice, but not on the ice.
And why do you think it's so important that both boys and girls have the opportunity to play professionally?
Because we're the same people.
Next weekend, the Dream Gap Tour, put on by the Professional Women's Hockey Player Association, will happen here in Toronto, showcasing some of the best hockey players in the world while continuing to put female hockey talent into the spotlight. Talia Ricci, CBC News, Toronto.
It's a lovely day to get out on the ice, Marta, or just outside.
Yeah, no, definitely a lovely day for a skate. Let's look at the temperatures for Sunday afternoon. 1 degree with that snowfall icon. As I mentioned, it's going to be that clipper system that's kind of coming on through, bringing that snowfall light in nature through much of the GTA. You can see that throughout there in the GTA. Now, less than 5 centimeters in Toronto, inclusive of that, anywhere closer into the Huron shores, up to 10 to 15 centimeters for that snow. Taking a look at Sunday overnight, it's going to continue a little bit, but it's not going to make a big difference for the commute on Monday, where you can see Toronto 1 degree with that sunshine. Now that's where some people celebrate Christmas, so it might be a white Christmas for them as well. Now Sunday overnight, it's not until Tuesday that we see this next clipper moving on in and bringing that snowfall throughout. It could be a mixture. We're hovering around that freezing mark, around the 2 degree mark. So you can see in Toronto, it looks like snow for now, but it could be that mixture. It could even be rain just because we are at 2 degrees, feeling like -2. So again, hovering around that freezing mark in through areas like Barrie. Will it snow for the next few days? Hamilton, again, sunshine. Tuesday, that next system moving on through 2 degrees, and in Oshawa, 2 degrees as well. But take a look at this. Toronto, for Wednesday, this is where we're supposed to be feeling like what we're supposed to be feeling like throughout now. -2, feeling like -8, but it's very short-lived for this little cold spell. That cold that's in the prairies right now dipping on down into the GTA, but by Friday it's 7 degrees and we have that rainfall icon, so it's very short-lived from Wednesday to Friday.
Right, well, I guess we'll take it. It seems a bit warm. Thanks a lot, Marta.
No problem.
And that is our show for you tonight. Thank you so much for watching, and you can also stay up on news anytime on our website. That is at cbcnews.ca. Well, we thought those pretty pictures of Scarborough earlier in the newscast were so pretty. We're going to give you another look. It was a light dusting of snow in Morningside from early this morning. Enjoy these pictures. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, folks.